Doctors say American kids spending way too much time on everything from YouTube to Instagram to Fortnite. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, technology overuse by children is linked to obesity, depression, and lower school performance. The June issue of Wired magazine offers parents a food pyramid for a healthy tech diet. We could all use that. No break. We're going right to you. Wired editor. Here we are. And CBS News contributor Nick Thompson. Come back if you walked away.
It's live TV.
It is live. We're live. Are we live now?
I was wondering, Tony, are we going to break?
I thought we were going to break. Come back if you're in the other room and you hear me talking. We got Nick Thompson here. All right, this is a great idea. Although I have to point out that the food pyramid telling us what to limit and what to eat a lot of, I don't know if that was so successful. What'd you put where?
Right, so the idea is that there's some forms of screen use that are super helpful.
Yeah.
You should have all the time, right? You want to have a video chat with grandma?
Yeah.
That's really great. You want to learn how to code? That's really great. And there's some that's really awful.
Yeah.
What do you want to avoid? What are the things that you sparingly, the junk food of screen time?
Never look at a screen before bed. You do not want your kid getting all riled up before they go to sleep because they need to sleep to get healthy and feel good. And you don't want them riled up. You don't want a TV on in the background because it makes people talk a little bit less. You don't want it in the background with your kid. You don't want a kid having a screen at a meal because then they're talking less to the parents, they're interacting less, and they're learning less. So that's the top. That's
limits the kids' growth, actually. That's the key thing there.
Yep, makes growth in all sorts of ways. There's other complicated stuff, right? Social media is complicated. You kind of want to keep kids away from that because it can lead to a lot of social enemy, but actually it can help them engage. First-person shooters.
I was surprised.
On this.
I was very surprised at your take on shooting games.
Right, so that's at the top in moderation, right? It's in the bad part of the pyramid, but it's not in the banned part of the pyramid. So the studies show that playing first-person shooter video games doesn't make kids more aggressive when they get older.
That's so counterintuitive, Nick, to what we see and what have
And if
how
they
is
don't
that so?
do it, they can be more isolated.
But how is that so? That
If they're
there's
more
no
isolated,
effect?
might have trouble. But how
It goes against every belief I would have. I wouldn't want my kids to play them, but it seems like they're able to separate that part of the world.
The isolation point is interesting because it is, if you're not playing video games, you're kind of going to get left out, aren't you?
Right, and that, it turns out, seems to maybe have a little more of effect than any bad thing that could happen with first-person shooter video games. So if your kid's playing them, talk to them, look at the settings, make sure they're playing them in the right way. You know, if parents are engaging with their kids, every one of these activities is better, but don't ban them.
You know what? Something that comes up for parents across the country, I see it all the time. I debate it myself in my own household. Is you go to eat somewhere, and you have an iPhone. You give it to the kid to watch during the meal, so you and your spouse can have 10 minutes of normal conversation. Good thing or bad thing? Where does that fall?
I think kids should be involved in the conversation. I mean, look, you need to have a heavy conversation with your spouse. Maybe you do need to stick your kid in front of Peppa Pig. But I do think that you want to have the kids conversing, right? A lot of the problems with screen time, it's on us. It's on the parents.
Yes.
Looking at your screen instead of your kid.
Yeah.
And so maybe the next issue will make a food pyramid for parents on how to deal with screens and your children.
What's the healthy stuff?
Healthy stuff is, games like learning how to learn languages, right? So my kids use Memrise, which is great. One of my kids loves his Kindle Paperwhite. You know what's good about the Kindle Paperwhite? There's no Twitter on it. There's nothing besides books. It's just text. There's nothing flashing. There's nothing going. I love having him use that. Video chats, as long as you're over 2, it seems like under 2, you have a really hard time with two-dimensional images.
Right.
But above 18 months or 2, a video chat with somebody, great form of conversation. Do it all the time.
There's a note here in the magazine that says Sesame Street viewers got higher grades and were less likely to be held back.
Yep.
So that's good stuff,
Particularly Sesame Street viewers who watch it with their parents. Right? If you watch a show with your kids and talk to them about it and engage with
That's
it,
good.
it's much better than just plopping them in front of YouTube.
You could watch CBS and talk to the kids.
We would
Watch
really
CBS
like that.
This Morning with your kids. That is the very best thing you
Even
can do.
before bed.
No, not that.
Just kidding.
But Nick, kids are always ahead of their parents when it comes to technology. So what are parents supposed to do to keep up?
Yeah, so this is a great one. So one of the pieces of advice we give is to change your settings, make it appropriate, turn on restricted mode in YouTube, check the search history. The funny thing is when the kids get to about 10, they'll be able to change all the settings and delete the search history and you won't be able to catch up. I think the best thing is for the parents to just be curious and to be curious about what their kids are doing and to try to understand it. And not to say, oh, they're on that internet thing. I don't understand it. I'll let them just do it. Try to understand it as best you can. Talk to them about what they're doing, and it will be better for everybody.
Nick, thank you very much. The June issue of Wired, this is that magazine thing for any of the kids watching, features a special section on children's technology use. It's on newsstands now. Newsstands are where you buy these.